Let's return now to the severe weather situation impacting New South Wales. Joining us live is New South Wales SES Chief Superintendent Dallas Burns. Dallas, good to see you again, and thanks so much for joining us. I understand that it is a very busy morning for you guys. First of all, update us what's happened overnight, and in particular if you can focus on what we've seen on the Central Coast, because I understand there has been significant property damage there.
Yeah, there's been property damage on the Central Coast and the South Coast as well. It's been a very busy night. 2,000 incidents responded to in the last 24 hours. We've had over 2,000 volunteers and emergency service personnel assisting our communities. On the Central Coast, we've got evacuation warnings in place at the Entrance North and Wamberal for coastal erosion. There's also been incidents of flash flooding, and residents in the Hunter Central Coast areas, we have some 22,000 residents without power, largely due to power lines coming down with those high winds. On the South Coast, we've got evacuations in place at Sanctuary Point and Barrel Lake, largely connected to storm surge coupled with high tide and localised flash flooding.
Okay, so talk us through the impacts of sea flooding coming in with the potential for that the high tide and this low pushing all the seawater up into the coast in places like the Entrance. Are we expecting significant impact due to that on properties today?
Hopefully not today. It's one of those things that's really hard to control. Obviously, with the low pressure system, the sea surface level rises because of that low pressure, and then effectively our sea surface height is higher. So we saw that in Barrel Lake overnight. Coupled with the high tide, we actually saw wave action into that lake through the eastern entrance of the lake, and that ended up with seawater impacting those low-lying communities alongside the lake. That can happen in any of our estuaries if it's coupled with a low pressure system, and so we're keeping an eye on that. We're lucky in some ways at the moment that we're in neap tides, so we're not at the highest astronomical tide level, but what we're seeing is sea levels above that highest astronomical tide level, which is then impacting those coastal communities.
Dallas, along the exposed coast this morning, we've had wind gusts to 130 kilometres an hour, and we're getting reports that some houses have lost their roofs or potentially businesses as well. Can you update us on that? Yeah,
a lot of our jobs overnight, and obviously it's dark at the moment. We're expecting a surge in call-outs once it's light and people actually can examine the damage that's occurred. A lot of them are for roof damage, trees down, damaging roofs. Those winds are continuing right now. They are expected to ease throughout the day to lower levels. However, at the moment there are still areas that are expecting those gusts over 100 kilometres an hour.
Okay, do you think the worst is now past and we're on just a gradual easing trend, or are we still in line for some pretty bad weather today? The
forecast that I'm looking at today is better than the forecast I was looking at yesterday morning. So I think it is easing. And when I had a quick look at the wind gust measures along the coast before I came on air, they are lower than we saw yesterday. They're still quite high though, and some of the damage will be cumulative. 24 hours worth of this sort of weather will impact trees. It will wear them out. It will start to loosen roofs, and we may still see damage. People still need to be careful. I would caution the public, if they can delay travel today, to do so in those impacted areas, and to keep aware of the risks in their area, the route they're travelling on and their destination.